This is Michael Popok. You're on the new Legal AF YouTube channel, and I am at the intersection. They're in the house. They're in the house. No, it's not a new horror movie, except we do have a new case of Chinese hackers trying to infiltrate the Verizon telephone system in order to target and obtain access to Trump and Vance's phones. And now this is on the heels of the Iranian hack of Donald Trump. And of course, we've got the hack through Elon Musk by Putin of the American foreign policy system. Let me tie all these three things together. Donald Trump runs on a campaign in which one of the planks of that platform is that there is no bad people in Russia, China, Iran who are trying to influence the outcome of the American election or try to influence our political discourse. And I want to lay waste to that right now because there's no hackers that are trying to do bad things to Americans until it actually happens. In the last 3 months alone, we've caught the American intelligence community has caught the Iranians who successfully hacked Donald Trump's campaign, obtained an actual white paper dossier of all of their information reporting in the vetting of J.D. Vance, to which I've always questioned, he actually got vetted, and they released that to the media. That was an attempt by the Iranians, not just to embarrass or to troll Donald Trump, but to influence our political discourse, the things that Americans talk about and think about as they fight and battle from outside this country for the hearts and minds of American voters. Why? Because the Russians, the Iranians, the Chinese, sometimes even the Indian government want to manipulate Americans against themselves to weaken our country and strengthen their hand. That's obvious to everyone that has ever looked at the information or data or tries to put these pieces together, except, of course, for Donald Trump, who doesn't want to admit that part of him winning in 2016 against Hillary Clinton was a result of Russian trolls, Iranian hacks, influencing the American electorate and brainwashing them. There's no other way around it. You almost can't distinguish Russian trolls and hackers and the work that they're doing to try to embarrass one party or the other and what MAGA is latching onto to attack Kamala Harris. They are virtually identical. So let's start with, we're on this hot take, I'm going to talk about China because it just happened, Iran, and let's talk about Musk being effectively an agent for Putin to try to manipulate the hearts and minds of Americans. There's no other way to put it. Let's start with everything Chinese, at least for the moment. The information, the reporting that's coming out there is that the Chinese, a group of Chinese hackers supported by the Chinese government, so they're official, which have been dubbed Salt Typhoon, that's the name of their organization, have hacked through the Verizon phone system and targeted the phones of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And if they've gotten any of the data or been able to peer and look at any of the data, it is a major national security and intelligence breach because of the amount of information. It's not just his mean tweets that's on Donald Trump's phones. He has lots of information and lots of access to information because of his own effective conduct of foreign policy that he's not supposed to be doing, but that he does in communications with foreign leaders like Viktor Orban and Putin, all on his phone, and J.D. Vance too. So right now, we don't even know, we don't know the known knowns or the known unknowns, as Don Rumsfeld once said. We don't know those at this moment. We only know that they hacked. We don't know what they saw, what they downloaded, what they watched in real time, and what they did with the information. But the Chinese government wanted to hack Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for a reason, because they saw them as a soft underbelly that they could easily get information from to use for their own foreign policy and military purposes, no doubt. Were they also doing it to try to embarrass Donald Trump and J.D. Vance with some of the information and try to pull the levers of power here during our election? Probably. Likely. Let's fast forward to the Iranians as we get to the bottom of the Chinese hack. You know, these hacks that Donald Trump thinks don't exist, the collusion that he thinks doesn't exist. We have reporting from a month ago that the Iranian government successfully hacked the Trump and Vance campaign headquarters and were able to obtain documents and information to try to embarrass Donald Trump. Again, the Iranians want to manipulate the outcome of this election, set Americans at each other's throats, weaken our country. Which brings us to the top of the food chain, the apex predator in this world, who is Putin and Russia. Despite the fact that in reporting by Bob Woodward, investigative reporting, rock solid reporting, almost never wrong, Bob Woodward, in his book War, he has intel corroborated that Donald Trump is regularly in communication with Putin. 7, 8, 9 phone calls. One where he kicked out at least one of the aides from his room so he could have a private chat with Putin, in which Putin has already given him campaign advice about what he should and shouldn't tell the American people about their relationship. Like, I worry about you. Don't worry about me. Like, right, he's never going to lose an election. And so you've got the Putin angle there. And you've got Putin using Elon Musk as a foreign agent to try to influence American policy. There's no other way to explain how Elon Musk went from an opponent and a foe of Putin, helping Ukraine, turning on the lights for the Starlink satellites to let them use it in their war where they're punching above their weight. They're greatly outmatched with money, with material, with people. It's like 1/4 the size of Russia fighting Russia successfully to a standstill for the last 2 years. But the Starlink technology helped. And we had Musk providing that. Then, starting in October 2022, Musk turned off the lights for Starlink, provided the technology to Russia, and started doing Russia's bidding and using Kremlin talking points to do it. All of a sudden, don't give Starlink to Taiwan because that'll piss off the Chinese, Putin told Musk. And Musk suddenly didn't supply the technology to Taiwan because Elon Musk is conducting his own foreign policy and military policy at odds with American policy. And that is a crime, and that should be investigated. And I've done another hot take on that. So Putin is using Musk as a puppet to promote Kremlin talking points. When they can't do that, they can't get a narcissistic quadrillionaire to do their bidding, then they just use good old-fashioned hard currency to bribe people. That's why the Department of Justice just 3 months ago indicted and is prosecuting 2 members of Russia TV, RTTV, Russian television, who spent $10 million of the Russian government Putin money to effectively capture a Tennessee-based right-wing, MAGA right-wing podcast producer who then took the money and gave it to right-wing podcasters who suddenly, once they got the $10 million, started, you'd think I was watching Kremlin TV. They were just spouting off anti-Ukraine, pro-Russia positions from their podcast studios. And then when the fan hit the what is it? The fit hit the shan. We were duped. We didn't know that's where the money was coming from. Oh, right. And when Reuters, by the way, got a hold of somebody from Russia television, they trolled America in their response. When Reuters reached them for comment after their people got indicted, they said there's 3 things you can count on in the world: death, taxes, and Russians interfering with your elections. Okay, so for Donald Trump, who benefited from the largesse of the Russians in 2016, to claim that there is no interference or attempted interference by foreign governments in the election is a lie. In fact, he has taken that position. In fact, one of his defenses in the indictment brought by Jack Smith in the special counsel is that Trump was just trying to get to the bottom of election interference by foreign countries. That's what he was trying to do. Is that what it sounded like when he made the phone call into Georgia looking for 11,780 votes, that he was trying to get to the bottom of a Russian hacking scandal? Or Chinese or Indian? I don't think so. But this is where we're at. So for me, these are just little symptoms of the broader disease of foreign powers. When we hear about the Chinese hacking scandal, foreign powers who are our enemies, our sworn enemies, who want us wiped off the face of the earth, who want to destroy democracy and our place as the moral leader of democracy in the free world. And Donald Trump is playing right into their hands. What they want is a weak, narcissistic fascist heading America and promoting the American brand of democracy because it will be rejected around the world when it's carried on in those hands. That's why they were scared of Barack Obama, because he lit up the world, not just with his smile, but with his exhortations about democracy. Kennedy, right? Clinton, world leaders that people would follow and helped open new democracies around the world. Of course, they want to have Donald Trump be the head of the brand of America Incorporated because he's depraved and decrepit and has no morals and immoral. And they want him carrying the torch for America, which is no longer a torch in the hands of Donald Trump, right? It's a torch in the sense that he's an arsonist. That's what they want. And so, of course, they all want Donald Trump to win. It gives them an enemy that they can galvanize the rest of their country around. Chinese don't want a magnificent American president that the world is proud of. That's the last thing they want. They want a small, selfish, narcissistic, hostile, little angry man to be the brand leader for America and its democracy. Because that cartoon figure, they can then use to go and increase their power worldwide, their communist power worldwide. That's what we're watching. So when I hear about the hack, Iranian hack, Chinese hack, Russian hacking Musk, that's the context in which you have to place it. They're trying hard to put Americans at each other's throats. So it's red versus blue instead of red, white, and blue to weaken our country. And they've got a perfect foil in Donald Trump. And he's too stupid to see it. And his followers are too. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult, slightly less than half America that apparently is going to vote for the guy. But I got to put this in context too. We don't blow smoke or sunshine on Legal AF, the channel, or on Midas Touch at all. I'm glad you're here. Help us build this pro-democracy channel, one subscriber at a time. Hit that subscribe button. It's early voting has already started. Bring other people along with you. And I'm doing regular 4, 5, 6 videos a day right here on Legal AF. And I'm curating the channel, bringing on some other contributors, some of which you know from the Midas universe, some of which you haven't heard from yet, like Court Accountability Action is over here with us, and I think you're going to like their content as well. So until my next contribution on the Midas Touch Network or on Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.